Hey, I'm Brian from Workshop Addict. I've been spending a lot of time looking for a good battery charger. And the issue that I've had storing a lot of vehicles, for example, this is my 2006 TJ. Got a whopping 6,000 miles on it, 3,000 of which probably were put on in the first year. It does a lot of sitting. In the past, I've used different tenders. In this Jeep alone has probably gone through 4 batteries since 2006. It seems like sometimes in the spring, after leaving a tender on it, the battery's junk. It'll last 2-3 months and then it's gone. So rather than continuing to buy different tenders, go through different types of battery chargers, I said, I want the best. And I went out and searched the internet, and I came up with a company named CTEK. These guys make smart chargers that are not very expensive, but are very smart. They have 8 steps to their charging. They can analyze batteries. They can recondition batteries. These are safe to leave connected to your battery for many months. Always though, when you are charging a battery, you should always watch it to make sure that things aren't exploding or going bad. But at the same point, this will take a battery from dead to full charge and then keep it charged, or you can just set it for different modes. And one of the main things that I was looking for in this, and they have a, I don't know if you can see it here, they have a cold area, or this is for an AGM battery, or if it be like a Optima or an Odyssey also, and it's also recommended for any battery when it's below 41 degrees. This model, the 7002, is more of a car charger. It'll work on the tractors, but it's not specifically designed to be best with like small motorcycle batteries. But this will work great for the Jeeps and other cars. Let's set this in here. I've actually had this charger sitting here on the Jeep for probably the last week. This is the 3300 model. If you can see this model, I purchased it because it has a motorcycle or a small ATV battery charger. So what was nice about that is I have one large car charger that I'd haul around, and it wouldn't really work well for the little ATV batteries. And I was also going through, my son is a little Polaris, I would go through 2-3 batteries in that almost every year. It just seemed like whatever I was doing to them, they weren't happy. So this has a little motorcycle charger, so I can hook this up to his, keep it hooked up. I won't boil it, I won't overcharge it, and that's great. It has a car setting. This also has the cold and AGM area, so I can use it for the Odysseys. In here, I just have a Sears DieHard. I started going to the Sears DieHard Platinum batteries because they have a full 4-year warranty on them, and then they start prorating, and it seemed to work well. Some of the things I really like about these chargers are the connections and the wires that come with them. When you pick this up, you can feel that it's quality. And as I move on to the other cars, I'll continue to kind of show you why I believe that. And I can even show you some other chargers that I've had around that just don't show the quality. So at this point, we're gonna leave this on the Jeep and we're gonna move on to the next car. So I am a real lucky guy this year. I get to store my dad's Crossfire, and he's pretty picky about this car, really likes it. He too is into cars, so it's just his toy. But his toy has always been charged by one of these little guys, nothing special. And he's never had a really great performing battery in here. Again, sorry Dad. As I was mentioning before I was by the Jeep, the connections that come with the CTEK, these are the connections that you would get with different battery tenders. Not bad, but the ones with CTEK are plastic on the outside, but are all metal on the inside. And I'm not a big fan of plastic, but at the same point, with the metal being on the inside, all this plastic does is ensure that we don't get a spark anywhere else. So while you look at the outside and you say, it's plastic, it's not, it's metal. This is just to ensure no spark. The quality of this in how the terminals are put in, soldered and crimped in place, are amazing. You have the same fuse adapter here, but one of the bigger issues, or bigger, not issues, to me it's perfect. When you slide this on to the battery charger, it actually has a little clip that holds it in place. So when you pull it apart, you lift the clip, pull. And if you have them together, you can't pull them apart. There's also O-ring connections inside here to make sure no moisture gets inside. Very nice. Along with the clamps, you also have the ones that actually screw directly onto the battery, and they have the same type of system that go on, clamp in place, pull out, and then you can leave these on your car. Just put the little rubber cap on to keep the moisture out. Perfect. That's what I did here. I threw these on my dad's battery. Now, we've had the battery tender on this car for 3 days, and it said it was red. I came out, pulled it off, the charger was a little hot. I wanted to make sure that we weren't burning up a battery. So, to kind of prove to my dad a little point, we'll plug in this one, pick it up, we'll go to mode, which is normal. And in this case, it's telling us, or probably analyzing the battery, and telling us, well, it was here, now we're up to saying, well, we're about half full. And then after it goes a while, it'll get up to this 80–90% area, and then it'll start to analyze exactly where the battery's at, and then start getting into trying to store it and putting it into a long-term charge. And then it'll analyze it and make sure that we're set for storage. So I'm going to keep this here, but come back in a few minutes and remove this. I actually am in the process of storing a car, and I'm going to move over here to this little white one next door and show you what goes on if you have the battery in the trunk. So very common with today's sports cars that they remove the spare tire and end up with a simple air kit, fix a flat kit, I guess you would call it. They also then, since everything's in the trunk, if you lose power, most of them don't have a key anymore to get into the trunk. You can't push your key fob, open the trunk. There are ways of going through the back seat, but they all have their charging ports up front, and that's where I grabbed these from before. We have our positive terminal that's here, and then we have a negative terminal that GM has supplied for us that's kind of hidden up here, so you kind of have to know what's going on. So we'll connect our negative terminal and connect up our positive. And what I do with this is I just kind of leave it sit underneath here. I don't drive this car much. It's a summertime car, and in the summer we don't usually have to charge it, but if it's going to sit for a month, I'll throw a charger on it just because you have the radio and everything else going. When we connect this one up, again, we're in normal mode. It's going to go through its steps to see what's going on with the battery. And this one too has been sitting here for about a month with nothing on it. So I'm really not sure where this is going to pan out to be. It probably could use a charge. Last time I started it, it kind of sounded a little light. But these chargers now are set. I can walk away, and if when I do actually put the cover on the car, I will route the wire underneath and it'll come out the bottom, and these things will sit underneath. So let's hop back to the Jeep and finish up. CTEK chargers come with their instruction booklet, as I said before, 2 pigtails, your battery charger, and they have these convenient little cases. One comes with each that you can store everything in, which is nice. You can see through what's inside of it, and you can throw it in your trunk or wherever you're gonna store these at. It's nice to try to keep things together, and those bags allow you to. And reading through, The manuals, obviously the 7002 does a little more than the 3300 as far as reconditioning, but they both will charge a car battery. Well, they both will be like a tender, they both will analyze, they both go through pretty much the same steps. You just have more options. CTEK has a great graph on their website that tells you exactly what charger is best for what situation. So if you can look through that and pick out exactly what charger fits for exactly what you do, if you have ATVs, cars, tractors, trucks, bigger equipment, smaller equipment, even trailers, they all seem to have batteries these days, and everything has its own little niche. In reading through their battery types and settings, it'll tell you how they actually go through, and if you have a battery that has had issues in their charging phases, when they get to sorry about that, when they start out and then they go through the whole analysis, reconditioning, float, and pulse charging. Very nice chargers. I'm very impressed for the price of what you have going out on these chargers, in the quality and the technology that's inside. It's amazing. The other thing that while I was looking at this stuff, I found they have a battery analyzer. I've not opened this up, I've not looked at it at all, but this is one of the things that's always been on my wish list. You get a car that you're starting and you're going, especially this thing, I've gone through so many batteries. I can almost tell, okay, I started it. It kind of half started, a little light, and I'll go out somewhere and I'll be hesitant to turn it off because it's left me stranded due to batteries a couple times. But now I can I'd like to use this before I do a video of it, but you should be able to plug this in, you set the cold cranking amps of your battery, and you allow this piece to analyze the battery, and it'll give you insight. Does it just need to be reconditioned? Is it bad? Is it half charged? Where's it at? This is very cool, and again, very affordable. So if you want some more information on what they have, CTEK has a great website that explains a lot of this stuff. And I hope if you're out looking for a battery tender or a battery charger that this helps. These small battery chargers can take the place of much larger ones, and they're very cost effective. This is Brian from Workshop Addict. Thanks for your time.